I'm Danny Epperson at the Commodore Dinner Theater in downtown Portsmouth. Thanks for joining me for WHRO Cinema 15. We're diving into the magical 1985 sci-fi classic, Cocoon. This more recent Cinema 15 classic has something for everyone. Science fiction, fantasy, romance, comedy, drama, and even a little breakdancing. 1985's Cocoon tells the story of a group of friends in a Florida retirement community who find a mysterious fountain of youth. It brings new life to their sunset years, but once they discover its big secret, they're faced with an even bigger decision. The cast of this movie reads like a who's who of classic Hollywood. There are decades, or more likely centuries, of experience between the actors who play Cocoon's close-knit group of retirees. It would take hours to run through their credits, which cover vaudeville, radio, Broadway, and movies from the silent era to modern day. Don Ameche, Hume Cronyn, Jack Gilford, Maureen Stapleton, Jessica Tandy, Gwen Verdon, and Herta Ware are stars in this exceptional ensemble cast. It's no wonder that relative newcomers at the time, like Wilford Brimley, Brian Dennehy, and Steve Guttenberg, jumped at the chance to share the screen with such Hollywood royalty. And speaking of relative newcomers, Cocoon also features the film debuts of Tyrone Power Jr., son of actor Tyrone Power, and also Tawny Welch, daughter of Raquel Welch. The film also continues director Ron Howard's family tradition of casting his mother, father, and brother in cameo roles.
Kids just keep sucking on that oxygen. They'll probably go back to their own planet.
Today, Howard is recognized as an accomplished director, but back in 1985, he was still trying to distance himself from the happy days of his youth.
Yeah, but you never get scared.
I know, that's why I'm defined.
He was hesitant to direct a big effects movie and something so thematically similar to his 1984 hit Splash. But he discovered that with such a unique group of charming characters, Cocoon could be something special. He even playfully referred to it as Close Encounters on Golden Pond. Ron Howard loved this film, and we hope you love it too. So hit the lights and dive on in for Cocoon. As they said in the 1980s, that was so totally awesome. Well, I'm not sure if I would have the guts to go with the aliens, but what about you? Now, according to director Ron Howard, the cast would often get into a hypothetical debate about that very question. For the record, Maureen Stapleton was dead against it. Don Ameche said he'd be first in line. Wilford Brimley might still be pondering that question. He was only 50 years old at the time of Cocoon's production, and even had to have his hair dyed gray in order to make him look older. 50 years is almost as long as Hume Cronyn and Jessica Tandy had been married when they played husband and wife in this movie. Cronyn was a former featherweight boxer and had lost his vision in one eye from a bout with cancer. During a scene in the film where he hits an orderly, the actor's lack of depth perception caused him to actually strike the man and knock him out. Jessica Tandy's performance in Cocoon may have rekindled Hollywood's romance with the actress. Following the film, she was in high demand and went on to win the Academy Award for Best Actress in her work in Driving Miss Daisy.
You're speeding, I can see it.
No, Miss Daisy, no. We're only doing about 19 miles an hour.
And later earned an Oscar nomination for Fried Green Tomatoes. Cocoon turned out to be another hit for Ron Howard, earning him 2 Academy Awards, Don Ameche as Best Supporting Actor and the other for Best Visual Effects. But it almost wasn't Ron Howard's film. Robert Zemeckis was originally hired as director and spent a year working on Cocoon. But the studio got spooked after his 1984 film Romancing the Stone tested poorly. They fired him before production began and replaced him with Ron Howard. Ultimately, Zemeckis would have the last laugh. Romancing the Stone turned out to be a huge commercial success. It gave him the box office clout to make Back to the Future, which turned out to be the highest grossing film of 1985. Cocoon was number 6 on that list that year. I'm Danny Epperson, and unless you take off with aliens promising eternal life, I'll see you next week for WHRO Cinema 15 and another classic movie.